Hi guys, my name is Shelby Smith, and me and my partner Rachel are going to tell you about the effect agroforestry has on farmland avian diversity today. What is agroforestry and why is it important? Agroforestry is the increase of vegetation in agricultural areas. It is increased tree and shrub populations. Reducing flat farmland tendencies would include preventing chemical runoff and reducing soil erosion tendencies. Agroforestry importance also would be to increase avian diversity, protect crops, and improve water supply, and show an increased profits for the farmers and the livestock they are raising. Let's talk about avian diversity. Increasing avian diversity in certain areas will increase the well-being of the ecosystem overall. The four bird groups we are going to be talking about are provisioning, regulating, supporting, and cultural. Now, provisioning would be the ability to hunt the birds for food or use their feces for fertilizer. Regulating would be scavenging, as in carcass removal. Supporting, tying into provisioning, as birds live their lives and digest the food they eat, they enrich the earth around them, which transfers into lively crops and booming ecological success. Now, cultural, birds have a huge symbolic effect in many cultures and beauty especially. But my favorite is the sports team, St. Louis Cardinals. Go Cardinals! Our hypothesis is that ungrazed research areas will have a greater avian diversity than continuously grazed research areas. The top picture shows the continuously grazed field. This field has been used for grazing for the past 100 years and is surrounded by woody fence rows. The bottom picture shows the non-grazed field. This field has not been grazed in over 30 years. The trees are 15 to 30 years old and filled with shrubbery and thorn bushes as well. The top picture shows a satellite map view of the north transect used in the sampling. This research area is in the ungrazed field. The bottom picture shows a satellite map of the south transect used in sampling. This research area is continuously grazed field. Note the wall of trees going to show up with this red arrow. The grazed is followed by the wooded area and is enclosed, while the ungrazed is enclosed by farmland all around it, and there seems to be an upside down L that follows through with the rest of the ungrazed area. For materials and methods, we utilized point counts for observing the spring and winter bird species on JMK Ranch. There are 7 points per treatment, 15 meters apart, from start to finish using a handheld meter wheel. The research areas are differentiated by the orange and blue field tape, and the points are sampled in the same order throughout the entire study. The bird species are separated by research area and named for their common name. We were there for 5 minutes each, and the bird averages were plotted by treatment. For our results, if you look along the x-axis, you will find the grazed being blue and the ungrazed being red for our research areas. And for the y-axis, you will find the numbers of species observed, which is the average by research area. Grazed would be 11.75 and the ungrazed would be 10.5. And that would be because of the vegetation difference in both, which is surprising because grazed won over ungrazed. Okay, for the second half of the results, we're going to be looking at the top 5 bird species observed in both fields. Now again, grazed is going to be in blue and ungrazed is going to be in red. Now along the x-axis we have the bird species, and then along the y-axis we have the numbers of individuals observed. Now this would be the American crow, American robin, eastern meadowlark, field sparrow, and northern cardinal. Now, northern cardinal, field sparrow, eastern meadowlark, and American robin could be classified as seed-eating birds, and American crow could be classified as a scavenging bird. Now, all these birds are common for the Midwestern states. Northern cardinal, as you can see, was most abundant in both fields because both had edges, which it is an edge specialist bird. Field sparrow and eastern meadowlark were mostly in the grazed area. They had a higher one except for this field sparrow because of the seed dispersal and means to getting food and having hiding places for them to live in. Overall, it can be said that we were surprised by the results between the grazed and ungrazed fields. but it did show that grazing should increase avian diversity. Grazing also showed increased diversity in species, and there was an increase in diversity due to the controlled grazing and woody fence rows. These are examples of fields that are grazed and good for cattle's welfare, while the ungrazed does not bring the correct environment for birds and wildlife to thrive with the cattle. On the left, you see green. It is around the cattle. You can see it clearly. The ungrazed, it is all brown. It's an open plain. There's nothing for the birds to hide in or find seeds or any type of growing environment for the cattle as well. For the continuation of the research, the first 3 points, which is the farmland, agroforestry effect, and avian diversity, were all our 3 main points during this experiment. But to break it down even further, and more research topics could be found with comparing cropland birds versus livestock farmland birds. And then when you get to avian diversity, you could do all 4 seasons of spring, fall, summer, winter, and keep species counts for each of those the same. Livestock could be grazed versus overgrazed with the same experimental setup to see if there's a difference in bird quality there and avian diversity as well. I would like to thank Dr. Murphy and the use of J&K Ranch for our research project. I would like to thank Dr. Siegfried for being a big part of our bird research and an ornithologist at heart. The research group for all their support, Sigma Zeta for this wonderful chance to get together and showcase our experiments, and Southwest Baptist University for giving me this opportunity to stand before you today. Thank you.